Welcome to Sage Audio. Today we're talking about how to make crisp vocals, but first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com to receive a free mastered sample of it. High shelf, then DS. If we use a high shelf filter on the vocals and then use a de-esser, we can get a really aggressive but controlled high end. The shelf boosts the high frequencies and the de-esser compresses sibilants. Since the high end is boosted first, the de-esser works harder. Overworking the de-esser creates a distinct and crisp sound that works well for some vocals. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Exciter, then low-level compression. Exciters cause harmonic distortion to the high frequencies, making your vocals sound crisp. If we add low-level or upward compression after this, we can make the effect even more aggressive. Fresh Air by Slate and the Oxford Inflator make for a great combo and add a lot of clarity. I like to boost both the mid-air and air bands on Fresh Air, then use a negative curve on the inflator to emphasize the high end. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Internal low shelf compression. Although this method won't cause crisp vocals when combined with some other techniques, it can help a lot. In short, when compressing the vocal, I'll use an internal sidechain to exclude the highs from triggering the compression. The highs will still be compressed, but compression occurs less regularly. This helps if your vocal recording is already crisp and you don't want your compressor to attenuate the signal due to these high frequencies. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Emphasis, de-emphasis saturation. Somewhat like our first technique, we can drive or emphasize high frequencies into a saturator, where they're compressed and distorted, and then de-emphasize these highs with another EQ. To create crisp vocals, use a higher shelf, moderate saturation, then for your de-emphasis, attenuate less than you originally amplified. This causes the saturators to work harder on high frequencies, resulting in a crisp sound, and then balances out the spectrum so that the effect isn't too aggressive. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Bright vocal plate reverb. The reverb you choose has a big impact on the timbre of your vocal. For crisp vocals, I'll use a high-density vocal plate and emphasize the high frequencies while cutting some of the lows. Most reverb plugins will have a section where you can control the reverb's frequency response, but if the one that you like doesn't have this, then use the reverb as a parallel send and add an EQ after the reverb. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. Since you came, what we waiting for?
Parallel compress the highs. This is probably the most common way to make crisp vocals. First, create an aux send or bus, and on the parallel track, first insert an EQ. With this EQ, use a high-pass filter to attenuate up to about 6 kHz, and follow this insert with an aggressively used compressor. Now you have a hyped, compressed high end, which you can blend back in with the original until you get the right balance. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Moderate attack, short release. If you have a crisp vocal but you still need to compress, it's best to use a medium attack and short release. This will cause the signal to be compressed a little later, letting transients and detail pass through unaffected. It also returns the signal to Unity quicker. With these settings, you get more transparent compression that doesn't affect the detail of the vocal while still controlling dynamics. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Low frequency cut, dipped mids. Another way to add some high end to your vocal is to reduce phase cancellation or masking of the vocal's higher frequencies. Cut some of the lower frequencies with a high pass filter and dip an area in the mids that seems too powerful. This causes some of the quieter parts of the high frequencies to cut through. Combine this effect with some of the other effects on this list for the best results. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
Oversampling and crisp vocals. One technical thing that we haven't touched on yet is the importance of oversampling when creating crisp vocals. If you distort, excite, boost, or saturate the vocal's highest frequencies, you'll need to use oversampling to avoid aliasing distortion. In short, oversampling gives the high frequencies a higher range to occupy. If the higher frequencies can't be represented, they'll become reflected down the frequency spectrum, causing phase cancellation to your vocal's high end, in turn, hindering the crispness of your vocal. Let's take a listen.
One day you come to my open door, and I feel like you can wait no more. You here, buddy, you could have just go, but since you came, what we waiting for?
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com to receive a free mastered sample of it. Also, join and become a member for exclusive videos and content. Thank you so much for watching.